So, so first item on the agenda is the minutes for the December 15, 2021 meeting. So, I thought there were, again, a very thorough job by Steve, and if anyone has any corrections or additions, you can please speak up. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve them as written. All right, who would like to make a motion? Evelyn, and seconded by Laura. All in favor? Show of hands.
Aye.
Show of hands, Evelyn.
Oh,
There we go. All right. Thank you. All right. The next is Suzanne's report.
Message said she left the meeting.
Oh, she'll be back, hopefully.
Oh.
Wait a sec. She was with us. All right, well, we'll go on to the friends, then we come back.
okay. I guess that's me, and anybody else who's aware can. Oh, here's Suzanne. Do you want to do
Oh,
it?
here's Suzanne. Yep.
Suzanne.
Yeah.
There. Suzanne?
Yes, sir. Now I'm on.
There you
Oh,
go.
good. Hi.
Sorry.
That's all right. So would you like to give your report?
Sure. It's pretty short. Some of the exercise classes are going forward well. The Tai Chi instructor was uncomfortable teaching in a room in January with the surge, so I'm hoping he'll start again in February, which is what he projected in December. The men's exercise group was undersubscribed. Only 2 people signed up for it. So they decided yesterday to pull the plug on that, but they will go forward with stepping stones. And everybody else is doing well. Jenny Hosfeld is very popular as the total body person. And we're getting, it ebbs and flows. And we do now have 2 classes scheduled after 4 o'clock. Wednesday, Jenny's at 4, and Thursday, starting February 3rd, we'll have yoga with Patty Marlborough at 4.
Okay.
Now, do you have any sense why the men's, it's just lack of interest for the men's exercise class?
Well, nobody told us why they didn't sign up, and so I'm assuming it's just lack of interest.
Yeah.
We will try again in the spring, maybe April. But I'll try it twice, and if it's unsuccessful twice, then I'm pretty sure we're not going to try it again.
Yeah, no, makes sense to me. That's too bad.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. And the next piece is home tests. I know you were chatting about it briefly before the meeting was called to order, but 2 things. Yesterday, the federal website to order for free tests went live at covid.gov. It's very straightforward, and they will accept a post office box, which sometimes that people, that software will not. And you can get up to 4 tests per residence. Health office has COVID tests available, but they're trying to limit them to people who either are symptomatic or have been directly exposed to someone who was declared positive. So call the health office at 349-0308, ask for Meredith, and who is the new assistant health and conservation agent. She's a former AmeriCorps member who worked with Hillary as an intern, and she's been selected to be Hillary's new assistant, which will help the health department immeasurably as we move into our 3rd year of the pandemic.
It's very sweet, really helpful too. Really good work.
I cannot say enough about AmeriCorps. I mean, the young adults that go through that program are amazing. They
great.
really are. They really are. Let me see. Terry is out for, I don't know how long. She's taking care of her father and her stepmother. Her father just had COVID in November, came home to recover, had open heart surgery, replacing an aortic valve and 3 bypasses in January. And so she's up at their house, supporting them, helping, shopping, cleaning, cooking. So driving to medical visits. So I don't know when she'll be back. So if you need anything here, please contact me or Sally or Linda, because Terry will not be in for a while.
Can I ask a question?
Laura?
I just wondered with the wave going out and the information about classes and will someone there pick that up? Because she's so wonderful about getting that out. And I think the participation and getting, letting people know these things are available is dependent upon.
Yeah, the wave, she'll definitely be back in time for the wave, because she'll do that the 3rd week in February. And the email blast about classes and stuff like that, I can do, because I transferred her email blast list to my email software. So it won't be as pretty or as her clip art and her design are wonderful, but we'll get the information out.
That's absolutely wonderful. Is it possible for me to maybe pick up more of the flyers that are printed out? Because as things move on, I'm going to just find as many other spots to place those, and it wouldn't be a lot.
Whatever she has in her computer, I can print out.
Okay, that's great. I'll stop
And
by.
we can. It'd be easier to do it in person to make sure it says exactly what is needed before we print them.
All right, absolutely. That's
Just a
great.
nice touch, I'm not big on making more scrap paper. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm with you there too. We want as little as
Yes.
possible. Can I ask just one question, just about what day is Patty teaching yoga?
She's starting on Thursdays at 4 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And depending on popularity, like Tai Chi bloomed and we had to move into 2 days. If
Okay.
yoga blooms, we'll move into 2 days, and she's already aware of that.
Okay, terrific. That's great. I'm happy to hear that. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
and Denya will be starting her class soon too.
Oh, I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that. Good.
It's not heavily populated, but it's January. Our stuff is never heavily populated in January, and I don't want to base everybody's assessment on the lowest attendance month in our year. So I'd rather do a 3-month assessment and report to you at the end of March about numbers and population of classes and stuff.
Absolutely. These are like really exceptional times too. I think even if there's 2 people that are willing to come, it's going to build upon that over time. And, word of mouth, people come and it's a great class and they feel comfortable in the building, then they're going to tell their friends. And I just think it's all the classes that you put in line are really good ones. And I think once the word is out and you get a couple of people coming, that's just going to grow exponentially.
Well, I agree with you. The VNA has a 5-person minimum for the classes that they conduct, which is why the men's group, the plug was pulled. I'm not sure whether I would reschedule that or encourage men to come to the total body classes, and maybe as a side activity in April, institute a men's coffee group opportunity here.
That'd be a great idea.
I mean, because by then people will be able to sit around a table and unmask. So.
Yeah.
And drink coffee at the same time. So, so that's the end of my report, except that I did not look at I confess I do not have the agenda in front of me. Am I going to have an opportunity to talk about the Coa Board Matrix today?
Yeah, why don't we go right there now if you want to.
Okay, and it's been a while, I know, since you received it, sent out to Will, and he sent to all of you, a COA board matrix that's created by the Executive Office of Elder Affairs in Boston. And its responsibilities of board members, board chairs, and directors and coordinators. Did you all get that?
Yeah.
You remember seeing it? Okay, good. I think the biggest, point of this is that there's a unanimity in the very last one, which is advocacy. And across the board, they recognize that advocacy for representing elder interests is everyone's chief responsibility, board members, board chairs, and directors. I think where there's a misunderstanding or a miscommunication from my point of view, is the directory authority and responsibility of board members. Your advisory board, as you're all well aware, and you really have no authority to direct my staff. Request is absolutely fine, but it should go through me. If it's all right to ask Terry to print this, or ask Sally to do that, or ask Linda to do this, that's fine, but it needs to go through me. So I'm aware it's happening. I can't imagine saying no, but I do need to know. And the other thing is, if there's a reprimand that you're unhappy with a member of my staff, do not reprimand them directly. Come to me with the problem. I would appreciate it tremendously if that line of communication was held to that, because I'm not happy when I'm homesick and I get a call from a staff member who reports she was reprimanded by a member of the board. So I'm just asking for your support and your cooperation with this chain of command thing. I don't know if you have any questions about the matrix or any questions about what I just said, because there was a part B to this, and that is when the board comes up with a wonderful idea, we need to, and this is also on me, I need three things. I need to know who's responsible, if it's staff or board members. I need to know what exactly is going to happen and what you anticipate will happen if the staff is responsible for it. And we need a date certain for when it should be accomplished. Those three things, some of the good ideas, and in particular, those, and this is something that we've all been looking forward to, is a new sign. And because we did not apply those three things to it in the beginning of the process, we still don't have a new sign. So it's things like that that can get lost unless they're articulated specifically and put in the notes and in the minutes, and we have a record of it so we can look back on it. And that's it. That's just my request. And I'm hoping that this will create a stronger process to create more programs and activities for our seniors. I will say that the free computer classes are starting next week, and there are 12 people signed up for the free computer classes. And Elder Services is bringing 12 laptops to us this morning. IT will program them with the Wi-Fi code so people have good Wi-Fi when they come to the classes. And it's going to be twice a week for 5 weeks. So I'm looking forward to having that start. And that's it. That's my report. So if any of you feel the need for to brush up your computer skills, there are free classes out there for computers. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. When we recently, the two of us recently spoke, you mentioned there's going to be an update to the handbook coming up.
Oh, yes, Will. Thank you. I forgot that. The Executive Office of Elder Affairs in Boston has put together a committee statewide, and it includes the COA director from Provincetown. So we have a direct connection to it, to update the handbook for board members. And because of the pandemic, it's been elongated process naturally. But now their goal is to have it out by, it was January, now it's February, and should be in my hands in February. I make copies and send it to all of you because I have no idea how long it is. If it's short, I'll send it electronically. If it's long, I'll print it out here and bind it and give you each a copy of it. Because I'm hoping that it expands on the matrix and gives some practical suggestions as well on how to be the most effective advisory board and how to work most effectively with staff at the same time.
Great, yeah, because I'm looking forward to seeing something written, because, you know, I mean, I'm on certain boards, certain other boards where,
Wait a minute. Come sit next to me. Excuse me, I have a little interruption here. Diane's in my office. She couldn't find the Zoom.
okay,
No, it's on the town website.
Nobody told me that.
Well, from now on, you can look on the, I'll show you how to find it after the meeting. Okay? Now I have to dig out a mask. Excuse me.
You don't need a mask.
I do. If you're in my office, I do.
All right, hello, everybody.
Say good morning to Diane.
hello, Diane.
Let's see it.
I couldn't find the Zoom. Sorry.
Okay.
Here we are.
Yeah, let's see if we can find, oh, you're kind of fuzzy. Oh, I know why. Mm.
So are you all set?
Yep, we're all set.
Okay, I mean, the advisory board, I'm on other boards where actually we wield some power. And so it's interesting I'd like to really have us, when that handbook comes out, all take a look at it, even though we've probably seen some of it before. Because we're sort of an interesting type board where you're an advisory board, or we're an advisory board.
Yeah, I think
So-
it's a municipal thing because there are a lot of advisory boards in Wellfleet.
Yeah,
Lot.
yeah.
Not too many directory. The only ones who are considered authority usually comes from state law. It's the Conservation Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Planning Board, and the Board of Health. They have the right to direct the activities of staff and the people in the town. All the other boards are advisory. And the Select Board, excuse me. How can I forget them?
Yeah, I'd be in trouble.
I know.
Okay, all right. So does Laura?
Just have one. I think those 3 steps are really great, Suzanne. I think that makes it clear how we go about doing things. So the nature of that, while we're all here and this is a meeting, my question to you is about our signs, the new signs. So, I'm guessing number one is who is responsible. I'm guessing for the signage, that would be you. And I know in the past we've talked about DPW maybe would be making the signs that could have been made.
They're not making them. I've been told I need to order them from a sign company in Hyannis.
Okay.
So I have to contact the sign company and find out how much that costs because the DPW also said I have to pay for them.
Okay.
So that's the process.
Okay, so the second one is, will the next board meeting will you have information? Will we get like an update of how that's gone, or?
I can get it done by the next board meeting. What I'm going to do, if it makes sense to all of you, is to ask for a vote to order them once I send out the draft sign language to all of you, and then get input, and then we'll have a finalized language, and then I can order the signs. Because the sign company in Hyannis it's like a week turnaround. It's not a big deal.
All right, that's great. And the other one, I know Lillian has got to call it, and maybe she's already spoken with Greg at the, I've lost his name.
Vaughn.
Vaughn, yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps she's already.
Let me just add to that. I think she's called him a couple of times. I'm not sure if she's gotten a response yet from him. I'll check on that and let everybody know, but I know she's been following up on it.
Yeah.
If she's frustrated, we probably should go to a different sign maker to get it done.
Well, that's what she said. If she
As
doesn't
much as
get,
I like it.
get a response, she'll look for a different sign maker to get. it
Okay,
done.
that would be lovely. I don't know if Signs, which is the name of the company in Hyannis, could make something like that, but I'm happy to, there's two guys, it's a local company, and the two owners are very cooperative and helpful. So I can ask them about that too, if Lillian needs someone else to talk to.
So just,
Okay, I'll tell her after the meeting
All
to
right,
get in
thank you,
touch
Steve.
with Suzanne as to what the situation is, okay?
Yep,
And let everybody else know.
thank you.
Suzanne, just so we're clear, that responsible for the big sign, Lillian's going to do the investigation, and then she's coming back to you for working together to get this sign ordered, paid for, and installed.
Well, it was my understanding that the Friends initially said that they would help with the cost of that sign. If that's no longer happening, then we need to know that too. It's one of those things, nailing down the details. So I know who's responsible, and in some cases, who's paying for it. So I would like to have that discussion sooner rather than later, so that we can have it. So if I step in front of a truck and disappear, it'll be in writing somewhere.
Okay.
Evelyn,
Suzanne, yeah, the Friends there's a consensus that we want to pay for or help pay for the sign. You know, that hasn't changed. It's a matter of, but I don't understand if you have to go through a particular company and we're
Well,
still looking at other sign makers, isn't that a conflict? I mean, which?
Oh, I
if
don't
one
have to
doesn't-
go, I don't have to go through Sign It. It's just they're local, they're
Oh, okay.
good, they're reasonable cost, and I use them a lot for the beaches.
Okay,
So
I
that's,
just,
I don't have to. There's no conflict.
okay,
don't
I
have
thought
to.
it
No,
was
no.
a command, so.
There's
they
no
might be-
contract. There's no town contract with that sign
Okay.
company. It's
Because,
just,
yeah, it
yeah,
sounds like
users.
they might be more responsive than this one guy, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think I like him a lot. If he's not available, I think we need to move on.
Yeah.
You know, I truly do, but I will talk to Lillian about that,
Mhm.
because she may have some other ideas. We can brainstorm on that and get some. Once
Yeah.
the design is done and we know the size and the materials that will be used, then we can go forward and get prices.
Right. Great.
Evelyn,
I have two questions for Suzanne. One's real simple. What's the date that yoga starts?
February 3rd.
Okay, and
Patty's writing up a paragraph for me so I can do a flyer so I can send it out by email blast, but she hasn't gotten her paragraph to me yet.
yeah, okay. The other thing is I
What was the
wonder.
date of the start of the yoga class? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
February
February.
3rd.
February 3rd? Okay, thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
My second question, well, maybe we should stay with the sign. I had a question about an article in the Independent, now that so much is going on. But but that we can talk at a different point in this meeting or
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
Danya,
Is it possible to use a sandwich board as a temporary sign so there's some kind of sign at the COA at the end of the driveway?
I actually have two signs that were in my shed at home, two sign boards that are in the back of my truck that Sally and I are going to work on putting activities on at the end of the driveway. So the weather hasn't been conducive until today, so we'll work on that this afternoon. Get out my hammer and shovel, and she said she would do the lettering, and we'd like to be able to put something up that we can change a poster board out for like that day's activities at the end of the driveway. So people can drive by and see, February 3rd, yoga starts, that kind of thing.
That's a great idea. So you'll be responsible for that,
Yes,
Suzanne.
Sally and I will be responsible for that. Yes.
And then maybe within the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to see something that's out at the end of that driveway if we're looking for a table.
Yeah, if what I have in my shed, which doesn't cost anything, doesn't work, I will purchase one of those sandwich boards. However, to buy the inserts that are weatherproof, so that if it snows or rains, we don't lose them, would be part B, and I'm not sure how many of those we would need, but I can get those too. I have it in my budget, so. But I'd
And
like to start free first.
Yeah, that was a great idea. That was like, that was a really good idea, because we're looking for as many ways as we can possibly
Mhm.
advertise these wonderful classes that are starting up. And I'd never crossed my mind to do that. That's so obvious.
You know, last night I was watching the select board meeting because I'm addicted to them. And there is open session, and I could make it a week, well, they're meeting weekly now, a weekly announcement of what's going on at the COA to let people know. Because last night there weren't that many because people watching, because it was just the budget. It's like 25 people. But some nights there's 40 or 50, and that would be worthwhile to make a public announcement during open session.
Oh, gosh, that'd be wonderful.
And it's non-controversial, so they'll let me say it.
Yeah.
All right, so are we done with Suzanne? I think we've jumped over to one of the agenda items to sign. Well, I'll touch briefly on it. But the next item on the agenda is the report of the Friends. So Evelyn, the floor is yours.
Okay. We met last week, the 12th, and at the Adult Community Center, which it's great to meet in person. And because we're a private nonprofit, we can do that. We don't have to, our rules are a little different than the official town committees and boards. Anyway, we, again, as Suzanne had mentioned, we reviewed briefly some roles and responsibilities, and our main role as the Friends is to raise money. And so we're talking, we had a reasonably good response to our publicity and all on membership, and we've had a number of donations, which we want to be recognized in our next, the next wave, just to thank people. Won't be the amounts they gave, but just the names of people who have supported the Friends of the COA. And we're also going to talk and plan about some variation of Wellfleet Dines Out Festival, and not the way it used to be, because COVID has changed so much. And we're going to hopefully work with Diane and Peter Hall, who have been so supportive, and get their ideas too, before we would, decide how best to proceed. But that's been the signature fundraiser, and we feel that in a revamped way, and hopefully this summer people will and the fall people will frequent restaurants again. Last summer was pretty good, from anything I could observe. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we have a bank balance of approximately $10,000, which is healthy, and we introduced the idea of air purifiers for the building. And this what came from Jeff Carlson, who did Tai Chi and brought his own, and talked a lot about that. So we talked to Suzanne about it. Steve did a lot of research, and also his wife Lillian also helped. And they should be arriving any day. And I think, frankly, the floor for that big room should handle that size in terms of air purification. So any programs in there, and then if there are programs other places, the living room, the any of like the boardroom, I think people would feel more comfortable coming into the building and coming to a lot of the programs that are starting. There's some people still have a reluctance to go inside, even with everyone masking. So, and I appreciate that, but I think that this will help alleviate fears and make people feel more comfortable about coming to programs. And just,
Can I add something, Evelyn?
sure.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you have actually, I know Laura has seen them, but seen the one that Jeff has brought into the Tai Chi classes, but they're completely portable. So we ordered 4 on Jeff's recommendation, and also looking at the what the amount of air purification any one of these can use, and we decided 4 was necessary for the big room. But for example, in one of the smaller rooms, 1 or possibly 2 could be, and they're easy to roll in and out, and they just plug in. There's no special thing there. This could be a very good thing, for a considerable period of time, until maybe someday they put a central filtering system in the building. But I think this will work. And like I said, because of its portability, it can be used almost any place. That's it.
Okay, thanks. So that's, that's working. The other thing is the group has taken responsibility after talking with Suzanne and Terry about the walking group that started, I think in early December or late November, and every Saturday morning at 9:30. And that's been growing slowly. And that we felt not only was it fun to be outside and exercise, but also to do it under the auspice of a COA program and reach out and try to get people who honestly don't know about the center, don't know about the programs, and communicate that way, because word of mouth is really a powerful tool for increasing program participation. And I'd say that for any of the programs, some more naturally draw people like Tai Chi than others that are newer to people. But I think, word of mouth is really helpful. So the weather hasn't exactly cooperated. Last Saturday at 11 degrees, Laura and I waited to see if any foolish person wanted to come by and walk, but we didn't see anyone, so we called it. And but that's been really fun, and we've kind of encouraged newer people. We're very grateful to Suzanne and the COA because we are officially volunteers. We're Corey check, the 4 of us who are so far are the leaders. We'd love more. And we are covered by the town insurance. And also it helps get the word out, which is really terrific. So anyway, that's where we are. The other thing is that we brought up the issue of in regard to roles and responsibilities, that some of us cross over, some of us are on both boards. And, I think we need to find new people for both boards. And so nice to see Denya here. But so that, certainly a rep from each board to the other is great, but we're trying to increase our membership on the board, the Friends board. And I know I think we're still, well, now maybe we found our person for the advisory board, but just so there can be gradually a shifting, so we can, it's just more people to be involved and less confusion about, I think, who does what. And so Suzanne, appreciate your discussion earlier, and I think we're all on the same page on that. So
Thank you, Evelyn. Mr. Chair, if I could,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that when we get the manual for the board, there will be language in there about they're most comfortable with no more than 2 people on the COA board also being friends. So by the time we get the manual and you round up more members, maybe you'll be able to bring it down. If indeed it still says 2 crossovers or
Mhm.
2 dual board members, the way it used to. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I haven't seen any drafts.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was limited at one time. Okay. So that it was kind of an emergency when things restarted with the Friends. So
I was
now we
so
can
grateful that the Friends restarted, Evelyn. I did
Yeah.
not open my mouth.
okay, good. And now we can refine it and go back to the
At
original.
your convenience, because believe me, the EOEA is not going to come down here and check. It's
Yeah,
just a goal for us
Yeah.
internally to do
Right.
this.
Right. So, okay. I think that's the highlights. And oh, Laura.
I just wanted to mention too, because one other thing that we had spoken about is and getting potentially Casey Meyer or someone from the Independent to come and do an article either on Wellfleet or on just on the COA's reopening and the programs that are on there. And while we have Suzanne here, I wondered if that's something that how she felt about that and if we could, decide who would be responsible and go forward with that. Because I think that, it's got a wide audience and I think that would be a great way to let people know that these new programs are available, because I think there's probably people who don't, and also to introduce our new name as the center, because I have to, this is just, a little story from me. I had shared the programs that that were going on with some friends that I exercise with in another place. And these were people in Wellfleet. And I got a response back from one person who said to me, she said, well, I'm excited to see all these great programs, but I'm not ready to go there yet. And so when I actually saw her when we were exercising on the tennis court in Eastham, I kind of wanted to qualify whether she didn't feel comfortable because of COVID to go inside or what it was. And she said, no, she said, it was the concept of it being people coming in walkers or wheelchairs. And I tried to explain to her that in fact was not the case. It's a vibrant group of people and there was wonderful programs going on and just really to give it a try. So I think that any sort of article or highlight that could be brought to the name change and then all these great programs, because Suzanne, you've put great programs together. There's really and diverse programs too. So I think just the more, if it's possible, I know at one point, Suzanne, you had mentioned that you have a nice relationship with Casey, and you thought maybe she might send one of the other reporters to do this. I just think that would be really helpful in our mission to let people know that there are great programs available and that they should just check it out. And it's safe, and even to highlight now with these new air purifiers that will be in there, that how safe that building is to come in. Because I know the times I've come in for exercise, we exercise with masks on, and it hasn't been difficult for me, and I feel very safe in the building. There's plenty of space between me and the other people that are in there. And I just think that there's some hesitance for that, because people have other concepts of the Council on Aging as being something other than what it is. So I don't know. I just wanted Suzanne's feedback and anybody else's about advertising.
I am totally willing to. I was just sitting here thinking while you were speaking, Laura, and I think it would be really helpful if I sent her the last email blast.
Yeah.
And sent the email blast to all the press outlets as well. I will pull out the flyer about the men's fitness class. I won't include that in the email blast, but I think that would be really helpful. And then follow it up with her on a personal note on the email that we would love to have a reporter and a photographer come and check some stuff out, just because people need to start doing things safely, and we're creating a space where things can be done safely.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think we have to start throwing the word active into our descriptions.
Yeah, Oh,
just
great.
based on what you're, and I know that that is the perception of this building, that they conflate us with a nursing home. We're no more walkers and wheelchairs than the library is. I mean, seriously, it's just about an equivalent user group and type of activity.
Mhm.
So I think that's important. If we have if we can have pictures of active people on their mats doing the whatever they do, and it would be good to have them in the building, because I'm not sure what's required about, do you have permission to put my picture in your paper kind of thing.
Yeah, the
They would announce what was going on, and anybody who had to sign off could sign off that day.
that would
Because
be.
not everybody wants to see themselves in the paper.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that works. I'm a bit skeptical that the Independent will do much, just because if you look at what most of their articles are, they're pretty meaty stuff in terms of issues with, zoning board issues that have major impact on the neighborhoods, or the stage of our budget. That I think that everyone would deem newsworthy. But if you can get them to do it, that'd be great. Laura.
I'm sorry to be so chatty, but Kathy Stetson has frequently, there's an article, it's not in the front, but it's towards the back, and it has to do
Yeah.
with exercise programs in Truro and other places. So I think it's a community newspaper, and that meets the needs of the community. I mean, I don't think they would say no, to be honest. I would be surprised.
I'd love to be proven wrong.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm saying it's a great idea, but I just sort of my skeptical side said, let's see what happens.
There you go.
But no, it's a great idea.
No,
Suzanne.
Yeah, my personal goal is to get us on the community pages where it says what's happening in Eastham, Wellfleet, Truro, and Provincetown, because they'll have a list, and then they'll have little blurbs about individual activities in the town. If we could get twice a month, an actual little mini article in there, and maybe get our stuff listed on what's going on, as well as the boards and committees. I don't know how Casey will feel about it, or how their editorial board feels about it, but I will definitely reach out to her and make inquiries.
Okay, and let me know what happens, because I'm an investor in that organization, so I wouldn't mind calling Ed and Teresa at all if after you've spoken to Casey Myers.
Sure, that would be lovely. I think I have a decent reputation with them because I'm always willing to answer. They send their cub reporters to me instead of having them do their own research. So I'm always kind to them. So it would be nice if they were kind to us as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Evelyn.
Would it help, Suzanne, to have someone from each board and you meet with whoever is coming, Casey, or,
Let me see if I can get her to come, and absolutely, I'd like a representative from each board.
Okay, great.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if I can
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
happen, then I will reach out to the boards, and you as boards can decide who's going to step up and talk to
Great.
them.
Great. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. All righty. The next item on we're going to the signage, which I think we pretty much dealt with. But we don't have any deadline. So, what would we hope to get done by the next meeting? What do you think is a reasonable? Because I'd like the minutes to reflect where we hope to be when we meet in February. So I sort of throw that open to the board.
Well, I think if Suzanne is being responsible for this though, well, I think she has to be the one that sets that timeline. It would be great if we had information and there's something was in the works by a month out from now, because I think, it's if we changed the name or the name was changed before the pandemic, it would be great to have signs up earlier rather than later, because it's been a long time that there's been no accurate signage on the buildings. So I think that should be a top priority.
I can't
Can
see why.
interrupt 1 second? I lost power for a while, so there's going to be a little gap in the minutes there, and you have to fill that in. Last thing I heard was when Suzanne said she's going to follow up with the Independent about getting a reporter. So whatever, happened after that until I got back in.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Steve,
excuse
I
me.
think what you missed is that if there can be a meeting scheduled that a member of this board or members of this board will attend that meeting. And so Suzanne's going to speak to Casey Myers and see if the meeting can be
Is this
set
the
up.
joint meeting you're talking about?
What's that?
The joint meeting you're talking about?
No, this is just a meeting with someone from the Provincetown Independent.
Okay.
Or to do something to put in the paper.
Okay.
And then if that does get set up, someone from this committee will be asked to attend that meeting
Okay.
with Suzanne and whoever it is from the Independent.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, so I guess so by the end of, I hope we would have the design done and the order placed, hopefully by our next meeting. Is that a realistic goal?
Are you talking
Suzanne?
about the sign outside the building?
No, just to have the signs designed and ordered. I mean, somehow we don't have control over how quickly it might or might not
I
get
will.
done.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Lillian stands on this. I'll ask her and I'll email everybody and where it is. I know she's been trying to get in touch with the guy. Whether she's achieved that or not, I'm not sure. Okay, but I'll get back to you.
Okay. All right, the next item
And the
on
design?
the agenda is a Toast and Jam concert. So, and I also listed the date, the persons responsible, and the deadline. So I guess the first item would be when would we like to do it? And so sometime in the spring before the summer. I forget when we did our last one with them, but when in the where was it? Early June?
It was,
Yeah, it was in
I'd
June.
have to look back. Was it June, Suzanne?
I think it was May. I'm just looking in my,
Either May or early June.
Yeah. And it seems like that would be a good aim, that timeline, because it might be warm enough to like have windows open, and so people would feel comfortable coming into the building. And maybe
The last time, yeah.
yeah, maybe this surge will be will be abated by then. So
I'm just checking the schedule for the last week of May through the middle of June. I assume you do it in the afternoon, like 2 to 4, the way you did before. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
it's a good time.
All right, so Mondays are out, Tuesdays are out. Wednesdays are out, unless we could just cancel one of Jenny's classes. And 'cause I think Wednesday's a good day. There's nothing before the So the setup could be happening, we could book the room and set up on a Wednesday, and without rushing in after another activity has finished. So if you pick a Wednesday in that range right now, then I can book the room from noon time on, so that there's plenty of flexibility.
Laura?
Just want to ask a question. I think in light of with putting out that survey and trying to encourage people that are seniors but are younger, maybe still working, that if not for this one, but for when we do another one, that we have something that's on a Friday evening or a Saturday evening, or a time that you can, we're trying to draw a larger demographic of people into this building, that I think at 2 o'clock for the most part would not meet that bill for people that go out to work. So I'm not saying for this, we should go ahead and do that. There also was Toast and Jam is wonderful, but it'd be great for us to have maybe a variety of other people with different sorts of music, and maybe Daniel would have some information about other local artists or local musicians that could fill that bill. And I'm not saying not do Toast and Jam, but just that there's a lot of people in our town, and I think we need to, choose people that are local residents, because there's so much talent here, that for the next one to choose others, so we could have a variety. Maybe there could be a series of musical events, and the first one could be in the afternoon, maybe the next one, maybe every other month could be in the evening, a 7 o'clock one, if that works. So just that's just my suggestion, because it would be great to really target that audience as well and make it.
I think it's a great idea, but it would depend on the ability and willingness of the Friends to pay for the performers. Because I don't have that in my budget right now. So I think it should be and I know this isn't on this agenda, but I would like to recommend that the Friends and the board meet jointly at least 2 or 3 times a year to work on joint efforts like this.
Yeah,
And then-
Suzanne, that is on the agenda.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just forget.
We talked about that.
I withdraw what I said.
Okay.
You have evening to affect staffing.
Yeah. So in terms, we'll get to the other folks, and maybe we should set up a committee. But in terms of Toast and Jam, so I sort of like to pick a date, just so we have something on the calendar, and so we're really moving forward. I think part of the frustration with this board, and I'm as guilty as anybody, is that we discuss things without moving them forward. And I am not casting stones, I assure you. But we ought to. So I'd like to pick a date. I haven't got a calendar right here. So if someone's got a date towards like the last Wednesday in Robin.
Is it impossible to do a Saturday afternoon?
No,
I mean, for families and whatnot, I would think that would be, they're so versatile that, you could bring your kids, not squawking little kids, but.
no, I think Saturday afternoon is a good idea.
Yeah, no, fine with me.
I mean, we packed the house when we had this fashion show on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So what?
And
what's
we
the
won't do
last
that again.
Saturday?
No, we
So
won't, but it was
what-
lovely.
So what's the last Saturday in May?
That's that's Memorial Day weekend, Saturday.
Oh, that won't
Yeah,
work.
Memorial
Day
Okay.
weekend?
So
Maybe
no,
Saturday
probably
before?
shouldn't do it then. So should we do it before or after?
Maybe the
That's
first Saturday in June is kind of like a low Saturday, because a lot of
All right.
people are, sometimes there's a graduation. When does Nauset graduate? Stand by. Because that would be a conflict. Calendar, hang on. Where is the calendar? Select a school.
June 4th is the first Saturday in June.
Right. Let's see what the calendar is. Academics, library. District calendar, okay. Right. February, March, April, May, June. Like June, NASA graduation is June 4th. So
Okay.
I would not recommend that
Oh.
as a date.
No,
The 21st of May is the Saturday before Memorial Day. And it would be the 11th if it was the Saturday after, June 11th or May
Right.
21st.
June 11th is getting close to where people are busy, especially if we're looking at families, because a lot of the people who work summer jobs or two are starting work at that point. So I would be inclined to push it back to May 21st.
yeah,
Yeah.
Warm enough to have the windows and doors open, but not so warm that it becomes oppressive in the room.
So May 21 at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock?
Well, why don't I just book the whole day for this event and then you can
Okay,
decide
but
later what your time is.
So who's gonna contact Toast and Jam?
I will.
Sarah, can you?
Okay, Sarah will
Yeah,
do
no, I know
that.
Tim Dickey well, and I have his phone number and email and
And he knows you.
and he knows me.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
he and Dal work together a lot.
and the Evelyn, are the friends willing to pay for it? And do we know how much roughly they charge? In other words, you somehow just make sure that the friends and the money are all on the same page with us, I guess.
Will, my recollection is the last time it was about $700
Right, for all the players, yeah.
for the players. I'd like to have it approved at a friend's meeting. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think the consensus is we want to support things like this. So I would just like to have,
Sure.
make sure we're all on the same page with that.
Well,
Okay,
when I contact Tim, I will find out what the fees are. So I
Okay.
can report to the friends and to the board.
Okay, good.
Months.
So you,
If
so
he's
you,
available
so
even to do it, if he's doing this during COVID, I don't know, because I haven't been
okay.
in touch with him recently. So,
Well,
I'll find out, and I'll certainly get a quote as far as, what the fee would be.
okay,
What
and
time are we looking at on the 21st?
2
Probably.
o'clock or 1 o'clock, sometime that for time frame, I would think.
1 or 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you find out what they charge, Laura, would you let Evelyn know right away?
No, I'm not Laura, I'm Sarah.
I mean, Sarah, don't mind me.
That's all right.
Mine is gone. Sarah,
Oh,
geez.
that's all right. Yeah, I'll let you know. What's your
Should
phone
pick a
number?
new chair.
Yeah.
I'm willing to have a new chair come in.
You have a great,
It won't botch up the names.
Right.
Okay.
That's all right. What's your
I
phone
have to
number,
leave.
Will?
What's that?
What's your phone number?
Oh, 603
Uh-huh.
493
493
2410.
2410. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Very good.
Oh,
All right.
Great.
Will? if you
hey,
could.
well,
Yes, Brian.
yeah, and for future consideration and in line with Laura's point about tapping into local talent,
Mhm.
I'd like to recommend Jim Rohrer and Katie Hickey, who live here in town. They perform every year at the Yule for Fuel thing, and they're very talented kind of singing couple there. They're neighbors of mine.
No, I agree that there are lots of people that we should look at. And maybe what we could, I'll put it on the agenda for next month to maybe form a committee and really make a list of every whatever, we gotta fit it within a budget, but have a series of these during the year, much more than we now do.
Also, another thing, I'd like to recommend taking Dania's recommendation, since she is really tapped in to a lot of the local talent, much more so than I am. Let's put it that way.
No, well, that's what I mean about forming a committee. So we'll deal with that. I'll make certain to put that on the agenda
Okay.
for next month. And then we can all put on our thinking caps, people that know the talent and that sort of thing. Okay.
Just a comment, Will, if I can.
Absolutely.
I could see that Jenya was trying to say she had to leave, so she has left, but
Okay.
I'd love to suggest her as the chair of the committee, since,
I
yeah,
agree.
which to be formed, I think she'd be really effective.
Absolutely. Yeah, because she really knows the local talent, even more so than I do, because I've been kind of out of the loop, so anyway, yeah, I think she'd be excellent.
This is the problem of when you leave a meeting, you get nominated to.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna thank.
Consensus.
I'm sorry, I blurted. I'm a blurter today.
What's that, Brian?
Qui tacit consensus, as the Romans used to say. Fluid island can agree.
I have trouble with
Good
the
one,
English
Brian.
language, never mind Latin.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've taken care of
Yes.
the items under the toast and jam. Next item is a joint meetings with the friends. And I'm wondering whether, one is, I think it's a great idea. And two is, maybe we should try to build it into both of our schedules on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know whether the easiest thing to do is to build it into our schedule or build it into their schedules. Evelyn, whoever else is on the friends, what's your thought about, one is, should we do it? And two is, what's the simplest way to implement it?
Yeah, I totally agree that we should do it. But I'm wondering, does it have to be an official meeting, open meeting, or is it, I don't know how one handles.
Yeah,
this kind
but
of
do we
thing.
do it virtually, or do we have to do it virtually, or can we do it off the books, so to speak of, and and meet in person?
Yeah.
Suzanne.
If a quorum of the COA board meets, it has to be recorded, it has to be virtual.
Okay.
And that at least goes through April of this year. I don't know if the state's going to extend that. So I think it needs, unless you want to appoint a subcommittee, eliminate the people on this board who are also friends, because that would maybe send additional people from your board to their meeting, meet with them in person, because they are allowed to meet in person because they are private. And then communicate it that way instead of the whole board meeting. Then you don't have to do it virtually, and you don't have to, you can avoid a quorum that way,
Can
only
I
having
make
4
a-
members.
Can I make a quick suggestion on this? Three of us are on both boards. So if Will, for example,
4 of us.
attended, 4 of us, okay. If Will attended as the representative of the COA board, why couldn't we just do it at one of our friends meetings?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Yes,
No,
yes. That's what I was
No.
trying to get across.
Yeah,
I mean-
I'm agreeing
but-
with you, Suzanne. That's
Thank
what
you,
I'm saying,
Stephen.
but
Yeah,
that so
got it.
many of us are on the both boards that it just,
Mhm.
you know, just if you had Will, we'd we'd have plenty of people to report to everybody.
You
Well-
could have Will and one other member legally and still not have a quorum.
Yeah,
Oh, wait a minute, your quorum is now, you're down to 9, right?
Yeah, we're down to
Never
9.
mind, four is your limit.
Okay, well, I'll be willing to
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Evelyn, you can just invite me to your next meeting.
okay, you're invited. And how, how
When
about-
is it?
it's the
February 16th.
February 9th
Oh.
at 1 o'clock
Yep, February 9th.
at the building. Yeah. And
Which is-
What
about
day of the
Brian?
week is that?
Oh, it's a Wednesday.
The Wednesday.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're meeting the second Wednesday. You meet the third.
okay. All right, I will be there.
Okay.
Great.
I will be there.
Brian's not on the Friends board. What about?
That makes
I'll be
5 though.
advised.
I
That
think
makes
we have a
quorum.
problem with a quorum then.
Oh,
Because there's
no.
3 of you on the Friends who are also members of this board, so only one more person from this board can be with you before you have to have an official meeting.
Okay.
Or Brian, if you want to go, you're welcome to go.
I would, I'll be in Washington, DC though. Can I come?
No, I don't think they do both.
We want to do it in person.
I don't blame you. I'd love to do these in person.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm hoping that by
28th.
May, we can.
Yeah, at some point, we gotta go on with our lives. If the people that don't get vaccinated die, well, so be it, you know? You know, I feel that way. I really do, you know?
I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of this pandemic.
Yeah.
Takes up too much brain space.
Yeah.
We all second
Okay.
that.
You know, out here in California, Tom and I joined the Culver City Senior Center, and you have to show a vaccination card and a booster card before can get into the building, and then you still wear a mask, but everything's in person. And it feels so safe looking around, knowing that all these people in this yoga class have been vaccinated. I mean, I know you can still get COVID, and this building is owned by Culver City. It's not, private. So I don't know what the distinction
Commonwealth-
is.
California made that rule, the state. You have to talk to
And
Governor
the
Baker.
COVID out here is just as bad as it is anywhere else. So I don't
It's just-
know.
You know, there's a sign when you enter P-Town now. It says you cannot go in any restaurant in P-Town without proof of vaccination.
Right.
And all the gyms in P-Town have a similar rule. I don't know why the select board doesn't adopt the rule. I mean,
It's not the select board, it's the Board of Health.
well, why don't they adopt the rule?
Because
I
their
mean,
chairman doesn't
it's been-
believe in masks. He says COVID's a hoax.
Well, I know, but I heard him, but the other 2 members can outvote him.
Yeah, but they don't.
Okay, I'm just saying to you
Needed
that
Board of
there's
Health.
plenty of places you can't go any longer without a vaccination card.
that's right.
Suzanne, did I hear you right that the chair of our Board of Health doesn't believe in masks?
He does not believe in masks.
That
He
was
voted
in the
against-
Independent too.
He voted against mask mandate the last time around.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
And that's
Jeez.
on the official record, so
Who
it's not
did
like
he
I'm
vote
talking
out?
smack. I am talking smack, but it's on the official record.
Yes,
Can
I
I-
heard him. Listened to that meeting and he argued that the whole thing was a big hoax and didn't
Yeah,
need it.
exactly.
All right, people, let's go vote in, when is it, May or early June, and vote him the heck out of there.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
He's appointed.
Can he
He's
be
appointed
impeached?
by the select board.
There's something we can do. Let's start a campaign to get rid of that idiot.
There you go.
So,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
sorry, but
God.
you can't cure stupid.
Yeah.
No, and we're surrounded by it.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
All right, what's next on the agenda, Mr. Chair?
The next of the agenda I had down, but I'm not sure we need to deal with it today because I think we've had a pretty full meeting. But anyway, I had down how to improve our messaging and what concrete steps can we implement.
I think that would be a good topic at the joint meeting that you attend with the
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's a
And
good
also
idea.
the outreach to the independent to, do a
Right,
story
exactly.
or a
And I
series.
should
that
have
would
some
be-
news to send you for, at that, to
Okay,
transmit to you at that meeting about
Okay,
the independent. I should know by then what's going on.
okay, great.
Yeah. Good.
All right, so we're done with the agenda. We're meeting next February 16th.
Yep.
And I will get out the agenda. If anyone else has an idea that they'd like to have put on the agenda, just send it to me. We're not supposed to send it to each other just because of the open meeting law, but if, please do. I'd love to have suggestions. And so this doesn't have to come from my limited mental resources, Laura?
I don't have anything to put on the agenda, but I just want to check to make sure I didn't do the wrong thing. I sent Denya a text to thank her for coming. And because she wasn't here when we were talking about forming a committee, and I think Sarah had a great idea putting her as the chair. So I told her we were thinking to do that and would like to have her on the committee or possibly at the chair of the committee. So did I break a law by actually?
No, matter of fact, since you sent that, ask her, I think she needs to go to the select board
Yeah.
and, or, the town administrator, whoever it is up there,
Town
and
hall.
fill out
Go get
the
sworn in.
form.
Yeah.
It's
Fill out
online. I can send her the committee volunteer form electronically.
Okay,
Have her just drop it off at town hall, and then she'll get on the agenda for the select board to be appointed.
okay, great, okay.
Well,
Yes,
the select board sent me that form thinking that I was still the head of this thing about the conduct. Do we have to discuss that? And did you get that I sent to you?
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
yeah,
what to do.
Well, I'll send, I've got that someplace. I'll send that around. I mean,
Well, I don't know
it's-
what is meant by that. Suzanne
no,
probably.
I
I
don't
know
think
what-
we, go ahead, Suzanne.
It was I don't know for sure, but I'm imagining that the joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and the Health Board, where the chair of the Board of Health told the chair of the Select Board to go screw himself, might have been the genesis of this policy.
okay. All right.
Okay,
Yes. So somehow I hope that us as a board wouldn't treat each other that way, or members of any other town
Yes.
boards.
I think I think instances that this policy points to are few and far between.
I would
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
Boy.
Unbelievable.
Interesting.
Uh,
Yeah.
Sad. Well, all right, so the next board meeting, February 16th at 9 a.m.
Right.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
That's
Second.
And seconded. Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you all for attending.
Thank you very
you.
much. Good
Okay.
meeting.
Welcome. Thank you,
Okay.
Bill.
Yeah, bye-bye.
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 Bye.
Where is my get out of the meeting card?
Uh,
There it is.
Thank you for allowing me